just what you said, NFL, NBA, all of the men on Wall Street. It's like, let me get that trophy wife. But you just don't know. Those dark-skinned beauties out there, they have it going on. And I hate to even divide it. Not that the light-skinned women don't have it going on, but for a brother, that is so disheartening. And that's like 80% of the problem right now, because women look at that. First, they start off with low self-esteem, and then, Dr. Crenshaw, it goes to, wow, my own man, my own race of a man don't even want me. So where do we go as African-American women? We're the last women on earth that any race want to turn to. And when you can't even look at your own race, that fine black caramel chocolate man that we be lifting up so high, when we can't even look at them because they not looking at us, they looking at the high light bright. Sorry, ladies, I love y'all all, but I'm keeping it real with Dr. Crenshaw. We're looking at them, and then there's like, okay, if they not light bright, I'm going to go on to the white woman. But I had your back, Dr. Crenshaw, when you didn't have anything, since you made it up past Wall Street, and I have too much mouth for you. You dropped me like a lump of coal and got the girl that work at Denny's that's white.
So, Dr. Crenshaw, Dr. Crenshaw, let me say this to you real quick. One, so now you know what I'm dealing with for 21 years.
I love you, baby.
You can see what I got to do in 20. So you pray for me, brother.
Bam.
But let me just say this much, and I'm going to be the devil's advocate on things. I really have an issue where women think that because a man makes a choice that he should be penalized for a choice. It's still a choice. A man has the option to pick whoever he wants to pick. Now, if he doesn't choose you and that changes the status of who you are, then you've given that man too much power over who you are. No man should define you but your father and God. And then your mama should back that up about the strong woman that you are. So when that man has that power to define you and one man says you're ugly and you allow that ugliness to be a part of who you are, you have allowed that man to have too much power over you. And so I would say it in that perspective, but a man still has a choice, Dr. Crenshaw. We still have that choice to choose who we want to, but because we choose something totally different, and I agree that society has taught even the African-American man to go to the lighter version of the woman. Mine's is caramel, and you can see she's dangerous. Okay. But society has caused us to do that. Now, I'm going to go on her side for a second. I'm going to let you answer this for me. If men are choosing women based upon their color, are we in some ways missing out on the true value of a woman on your side is supposed to mean?
Well, absolutely. You know, you've said a lot in everything that you just mentioned. It's a loaded answer. Yeah, we're missing out when we start to rate each other based on strictly the external, because that will always trip you up. And I think what happens in these relationships, just on that part right there, well, we get someone that, you know, society says is beautiful, and we've convinced ourselves that they are to be more desired than something else. A light-skinned woman is to be more desired than a dark-skinned woman. But you have no idea what's going on internally with that woman. First of all, there's a great deal of struggle. It's unfair to have light-skinned women have to bear the brunt of what is considered to be the symbol of beauty for all African-American women. That's just silly. But I understand where it comes from. I really do understand where it comes from. An idea that, you know, black men, and I hear that. I have some of my friends who have told me, you know what, you can't judge me. I just selected who I fell in love with. Well, yes and no, because there are a number of men, and yeah, nobody holds the card to, you know, your own self-esteem. I get that. But when you are a little girl, and this is what I mean when I talk about the neurobiological component of colorism, it's very real. Because when you are 2 and 3 and 5 and 7 years old, and you are seeing that the standard of beauty is not you, not only are you seeing it, you're being told you are less desirable. You're not as beautiful. You got to stand there and play in the sandbox next to the light-skinned girl that is to be more desired, etc. She's called on morning class. Research indicates this. We call it the Rosenthal effect. Kids respond to the level that teachers actually have the level of expectation for them. And so light-skinned girls are called on more. Dark-skinned girls are considered to be more aggressive, more angry, easily frustrated, poor frustration tolerance. She's 7. And all of a sudden she's 17, now she's 27, and she's got a chip on her shoulder, and you're like, what the hell is your problem? Are you kidding me?
So,
and she doesn't even realize how beautiful she is. I'll tell you, I had a relative, I'm not going to even say their names, but I had a relative that said to me, wow, you know, Lauryn Hill is really kind of cute for a darkie. I said, excuse me? I would never, when have I ever dated a dark-skinned girl? Dark-skinned girls look like they stink. This is a brother. So his selection doesn't even include all of who encompasses him. I'm like, your mother is dark-skinned. But I would never consider that, he says, for a dark-skinned woman for a romantic involvement. So I do take issue with brothers who only go light because of these sort of inferior reasons. And I get historically it comes from slavery, et cetera. You're pitting the light against the dark. This thing was done by design for us, and it is up to us to turn it around. And it's unfair to have to ask people, society, can't you find the beauty in a dark skin? As opposed to a light-skinned girl, well, she's just naturally beautiful.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Really?
And I hear you on that. And man, I really thank you for calling us in on the show. I just want to say one more thing, and then I'm going to let you go. You know I'm going to have you back again on another show. That's a guarantee.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
Hey, we're gonna play it forward until you if you get too big and I can't get to you, then I'm just going to get a jet out there and get you or something like that. But let me ask you this question, the final question I'm going to ask before I let you go. How do we change this phenomena where women are looked at in the way that they are, light skin, dark skin is not good, light skin is good? What do we do to change it? We need a paradigm switch where that no longer, it's almost like the N-word. We've got to find a way to take this out of the equation so we can't be used against them anymore. How do we do that?
Well, I think for starters, we say we're sorry. We've got to go back and we've got to look at what we call the ideology, the foundation of where all of this started. That this did not start with us. I don't think that, historically speaking, that we have had this notion that dark is inferior and light is better. And I think we have to sort of say I'm sorry to each other for offending each other in the way that we have. And allow healing to really take place and sort of look at the places where we're wounded. Because really, it really is about being wounded. There's a level of fear that has to go. I'm afraid that if I get a dark-skinned girl, that's going to stop me in life. And so I think this way, and my friend thinks this way, and all of a sudden, guess what? It starts to stop you in life, not because it's inherently meant to do that, but it's based on what you believe to be true. And what we believe to be true is actually what will manifest. And it's about spending time with each other. It's about spending time with the black woman, dark-skinned black woman, and light-skinned black women as well, and coming together and sitting down at the table of reason and saying, we're not in this. We had nothing to do with this chasm. This had nothing to do with us. And what we need to do is give this back to the people who gave it to us.
Yeah.
Race is a construct. It doesn't even really exist. And this colorism is sent only to divide us. And if we sit down in the room and we recognize that it is only about dividing us and creating this divisiveness amongst each other, I think we'll get a different plan of action.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you giving us a call in. We've had on here Dr. Gabriel Crenshaw. Man, like I said, I'm going to contact you again. I definitely want you to be back on the show. We appreciate you giving us a call in and talking to us about this subject. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right, bye.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, brother.
All right.
Miss Sheridan, did you have a question that you want to pose to the panel?
Let me just say something else. The callers that are out there, please hold on. We'll get to you in a few minutes.
Yes, he talked about the documentary Light Girls a little bit, and he also talked about the fact that we look at us as a people, tend to look at dark-skinned women as if we're angry. And sometimes we say, even in the documentary Light Girls, the women would say things like, because I was light-skinned with long hair, she was jealous. She never had a conversation with the other girl. She didn't know why she was mad at her. She assumed that she just walked up to her. We didn't even hear backstory as to why they got engaged into an altercation. The dark-skinned woman, it was painted as if she just walked up to this light-skinned, beautiful damsel in distress, and she was the big bad wolf.
Yeah.
And just knocked her off her feet. You know what I mean? And so I think it's on both sides of the spectrum. Hey, dark-skinned girls, that light-skinned sister don't think she better than you. But then light-skinned girls, she not automatically jealous of you. You know, and you can be dark-skinned with long hair. I have you can't see it right now, but I have naturally long hair. And I'm not jealous because another sister is light-skinned with long hair. You know what I mean? So we have to look at both sides of the spectrum.
Did you do a manuscript, a novel, a book about this?
I did. It is my memoir. It's called Pretty for a Dark-Skinned Girl, because that is something that I've been told. You're pretty for a dark-skinned girl, if I was pretty at all. A lot of times I was ugly, being called a gorilla, being a jigaboo, and I'm 23. These are terms from slavery, but I've been called a jigaboo, a coon, all of that, or pretty for a dark-skinned girl. None of it is a compliment.
Right. That's a backhanded compliment.
Right.
Before we go to you, Miss T and King, or the caller, Miss Felicia, did you have anything to say on that?
And while Felicia takes a break.
Okay, to go to Mr. McCain's question about how he asked, how will we change it? What will we do? I think it goes back into the homes, going into growing up. I think that we, as darker women, lighter women, your parents should be the first initial people to instill in you your beauty, regardless of your hair being kinky, no matter how dark you are. So, and I had that. And my father was what we would say, like, he is dark as dark, like super dark. Like, and my mom, she was a lighter, fair skin. So I'm kind of that in between darker girl. And my grandparents had that opposite. And I used to always be like, oh my God, dark guys never, ever approach me. Ever. Like, well, now when I'm a little older, but I would get that you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl. But it took me back to my father being able to tell me that you are beautiful. And I remember him telling me, like, I think Vivica Fox is more beautiful than Halle Berry. And then everybody would put Halle Berry was higher because she was lighter, she was prettier. And you never think, like, no, she not. She light-skinned, Daddy, when I was younger. And I have a daughter now, and she is very light. We're the complete opposite. And when she was younger, she thought she was white. And I had to teach her, you know, she's like, I'm the same as my teacher. And I'm white and you're black, Ma, so my skin is prettier. At 3, my child is telling me that. And it's because what we see in television is, you know, that's what's on the Disney Channel, the light-skinned girls with the pretty hair in the beginning. Now they're starting to show us the Lapitas, the darks are beautiful. So I think it does start in the home, showing and grooming your children, grooming the kids that you are around that are beautiful. I actually had a friend that was on Instagram. My daughter's best friend is really, really dark. And she is gorgeous, guys. Like, her features, her eyelashes, everything. But the girl put under there, oh, Kristen is so pretty. And I know it's because she's light-skinned. And didn't say that the other young girl was pretty, which, honestly, I think the other little girl is prettier than my baby. But, you know, we forget that because your skin complexion takes people from seeing the rest of your features, that pretty nose you got, that pretty lips you have, your eyes, because we are so blocked by the skin color.
Hey, I'm going to break right now. Hey, callers, you're still out there. Please hang on. We'll be right back. We're going to go station identification breaks. You're listening to the Let's Stay Together show. This is Team Light, Team Dark, Team Sisterhood on the Let's Stay Together show. We'll be right back in a few seconds.